Yes, the battery. It was the battery. I had to change it, but it was just like an hour.
Nice. Cool.
Everybody's batteries need recharge this week. Everybody recharge your batteries.
And the struggle is real.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Great, awesome to be here. I was in the meeting yesterday with Juanca, but glad to be meeting today as well.
Awesome. Cool. So I posted what we're gonna be working on in the SoftGov channel and also in the TC channel. Do you guys have access to this doc? It's the same doc of the manifesto from last time, but maybe, does everybody have it?
Not yet. I'm looking for it.
Well, also maybe we can do a quick round of sharing since there is new people here.
It doesn't let me open it up. It doesn't let me open it up. It says some message from Google Drive saying, I don't know, it's a weird message I've never seen before. But when I click the link that you posted in the general channel, it doesn't open up. It just shows a general screen about Google Drive.
Weird. Okay, I'll post it again. Maybe now it works.
There we go.
Yeah, first I want to start like thanking everyone so much for we are in this transition now from the first iteration of the working group to the second part of it. And I posted a message in the chat yesterday. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at it, but even when I was writing, I got surprised of how much we got done. And I know it seems like it's not so concrete because even that mural board, it was like so much information and like, oh, where is this going? But when we start to pinpoint everything that was done and the places we arrived from our conversations, it's really amazing. And I'm so grateful for like all the work and energy that you all put in. And one amazing thing that happened from all of this is that now we have a much clearer focus of how to actually implement the things that we are willing to implement. So I'll share my screen. Here. So yeah, I made a second manifesto just to lay out what is the goals that we're trying to achieve from all the material that we gathered from the mural board. So now we're taking a break from the board. I'll still be like grabbing pieces of knowledge that are there, and you're all welcome to do that too. But now we're going to focus more on Ostrom's principles and how to really apply them to the reality that we have going on in here. So yeah, so the mission will be mostly to prepare the transition from the cultural build and the actual commons. So what are all from all of these rules, all of the progress we've been making, how can we hold on to that when the commons is launched, and how can we create these processes for them to work seamlessly? So here the goals, the breaking down in milestones of what we want to achieve. I propose that we have today a brainstorm about contribution reward system that Jazz proposed, and that it's super important. It's one of the key pieces for that transition. How do we keep rewarding soft governance even after the launch? So we'll go more into that today. And then for the next meetings, to propose a written agreement of our boundaries and rules. It was surprisingly hard to delineate what are our rules, and I would love some help with that. So we'll touch on it soon. And also experiment the advice process in the forum as part of submitting a proposal. We have an advice process, but now with the proposal making and the comments, does it make sense to continue to have an advice process? I think so, but we should discuss that and understand how to implement it. Then also sync with the legal working group for the legal agreements that are the principle number 4. And also brainstorm mutual accountability methods. We started to do that in the mural board, and there are some good ideas, but I think we can go deeper in that and try to propose some solutions for voting, and also understand a rule for when do we use Giveth, and we can explain more about that when we get there. Maybe some people don't know about Giveth. And then sync with the conflict management working group that are principles 6 and 7. And then propose a fractal configuration that is all the structures of the ongoing working groups that we have going on and how they communicate. So I propose we go for the month of November with this work, and that we continue to sync every Tuesday, and that we have our chats on Telegram, Discord. So if you want to get like more deeply involved, please put your name here. Thank you, Santi and Juan, for doing that already. So yeah, so I think we're ready to jump. At first, do you guys have any questions about the scope, and what do you think? Is there something that it's missing that you want to add?
Maybe there's something I want to add, and is that I want to leverage on the work in the Miro board for making this like collaborative like pool of the graduate sanctions. So like people who have access to the Miro board can look at the space that is down from the core development of SoftGov, and there is this like square that says scale of conflicts, and there are notes to like have the gravity on the issues on, and well, I would like if you can like review it and put some comments into it.
Where is that?
You open the Miro board, and it's down from the core work. It says scale of conflicts and graduate sanctions. I can send a pic.
Yeah, if you can send a link to it, and a brief description of what you would like people to engage with, that would be cool in the chat. Cool. So I think we can go to the next point, that is automating rewards, contribution, reward system, roles, research, and idea. That is Jess' proposal. Jess, do you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Sorry, I was on mobile making breakfast, but I'll go to my laptop now. Yes, so we are discussing and looking at reward systems, which many DAOs handle this differently, and it's still a very new area to explore and innovate on. So I just started, because I have so many, cookings going on in the kitchen. I started just with something basic like bare bones research from looking at the One Hive examples. So they've been very incredible at innovating on a truly permissionless DAO. Luke, the lead developer, is like hardcore decentralist. He doesn't want any centralization. They don't even have centralized communications coming from the community at all. So it's very interesting to watch and look at the different spectrum of how we want to handle things. But what's definitely evident based on the experience that they're having is they have a super slick like bot system where you can basically onboard yourself to the community, self-assign to a working group, and you are rewarded through SourceCred based on different actions. So if I participate in conversation and I put an emoji on something, they have different groups inside of their Discord that have different permissions. So different actions get different rewards. And that is a completely automated system where people self-join through a bot and then they receive pollen, which then turns into honey. And this is like mostly automated. There's a few manual steps in the process while they're still building it. But what they are noticing is a lot of people were not feeling good about it. They felt like there was a lot of spam going on. So there were, there was an attack vector there with like spamming the system with emojis to try and get pollen, because of course they didn't do a CAD model. And then also many people were doing work that they felt like the system didn't reflect. So I think, in my opinion, and from my research, and I think many people might agree, is right now we have a very human system. Like our reward system inside of the TEC and the praise system in the common stack where it came from is like humans sit every Friday for hours and go over the sheet and like do some math to assign credit to people who have contributed, which will turn into tokens. So going forward, we need to look, I think, at some kind of split between an automated system, so we get like a base level that everyone that interacts with the system is rewarded in some capacity, and even we can gamify onboarding and do like step one, do this, and then you get some tech for that. And then we need, I think, a second layer of human squad that's like able to quantify certain actions. And of course, again, this is going to be a DAO. So like we'll have to go through a proposal process for all of this to vote on it as a community. But if we can come up with like an initial plan for the launch to either put in place if we vote before the launch, or if we decide we're going to open it up to the community for after the launch. But I think it would be nice to have a base layer, at least for the automated rewards to start out with. So I just basically went into this document. I don't know, Livy, if you want to share screen, or I'm on my mobile. But yeah, I just took some screenshots from the bot. I just took some screenshots. Oh, okay.
Yes, I also posted a document on the main channel.
Okay, and really, this is an important question. How do you want to be valued for your contributions? How do you want to get paid, in essence? And how should we reward others? What actions should we reward? And how much of this should be automated? And if we have some people handling like a human quantification layer, what does that look like in a decentralized community? And how do we go about this process? I hope that wasn't too much.
One thing about SourceCred is that it is still pretty centralized. Like there's one person or a small group of people who decide the points scores for all the Discord things. So while it is automated, I wouldn't call it like especially decentralized unless you have some sort of, very large DAO that is also implementing the automation parameters. I think the cool thing about our base layer with conviction voting is that we can do parallel paths. So SourceCred, praise, off the wall ideas about maybe bounties and these sorts of things for rewarding people, they all have the same base layer, which is conviction voting funds a source or an idea, and then that idea gets implemented. So I think we should experiment with it and be I really like the idea of integrating SourceCred. It's incredible tech and really powerful. It's and if someone wants to lead it and push it, then we should go for it. But maybe start with, like, for the first proposal, just ask for, a small amount of DAI and have that ready for at launch being one of the proposals that we start out with at the hatch, and then see if people vote for it, play with it, see how it goes, and also probably I think we should also do the same with praise and continue the praise quantification because people know that and are used to it, and also have funding there, and maybe even have another reward methodology, and we can continue to experiment with it.
And yeah, just so it's clear, like, so this is basically like all the ways that the money will be distributed, or the common pool allocations. Is like, so you can submit a proposal if you're doing work, and then we have this reward system. But I do think also having, like, we can't vote on every single parameter. That would kind of be ridiculous, like to put a vote on every single parameter. Like, do we want to reward for an emoji? Do we want to put up a vote? So yeah, I guess it would be more of a proposal, like you're saying, Griff, to like submit for the work on this project. Yeah, I guess for me, I'm just kind of getting stuck a bit in like how much to do. I think we should have something in place before the launch that we vote on as like the pre-hatch trusted seed community, of some kind of like reward system that's there before. I don't know if you agree with that. And then
Well, it's not technically
it
possible
as we go along.
So, like, because if we're going to create a reward system, there needs to be some sort of funding for those rewards. So the funding that we're using now is the hatch tokens, right? Because that will happen at the hatch, and that's funding that we can rely on. But after that, all the funding for the Token Engineering Commons comes from conviction voting. So what that would look like is, okay, yes, we need to have the proposal there, and we should even have some sort of maybe soft governance votes or polling that says, yes, as a community, we want to implement SourceCred. But when it comes down to it, the people who put money into the hatch get TEC tokens. The people who have impact hours get TEC tokens. And those people with TEC tokens will have to approve any expenditures of funds. So there will need to be an actual vote after the hatch, and that could send like a portion of funds to fill the reward bucket for SourceCred, and even a portion of funds. Maybe the proposal is, hey, we need 10,000 DAI, 10,000 X DAI to reward our community with SourceCred, using SourceCred. 1,000 of the DAI is going to go to the people who build it. 9,000 will go to the people who receive emojis. This person is going to decide all of the parameters. All that would be written out. It would be approved socially before going into the hatch, and then it's just then it's the bureaucratic confirmation that the people who actually put the money in and the people who put the sweat equity in agree with the social consensus that was made beforehand.
I want to give
that makes sense. So I think if we can document that, like how you said, I guess we have this call recorded, then we'll integrate it.
And I think it'll be more clear when we have the full test hatch where we have the hatch, the bonding curve, the conviction voting all in one with the next test hatch. Then it'll be like, oh yes, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I want to give one step back, because when we start to talk about the bureaucracy and the implementation, it leaves culture a little bit, but I think it's really important to understand the cultural piece that is how important it is to go so decentralized, and what would be the benefit of that for us, in a sense that I think decentralization exists to dismantle power structures, but if we can have a system that is decentralized enough to have horizontal power dynamics, but also to keep the connection and the intimacy somehow between collaborations, because I think that's what leads into like a fractal structure of, oh, we are tribal people, we gather, and then groups gather, and these groups are formed and they communicate within each other. So maybe when I hear you saying just that, like, one hive is going to the decentralized maximalist approach, and that some spam is happening and some like conflicts are happening, I think maybe there is a point there where I don't know, what do you guys think of, like, how do we need to go fully automated and fully decentralized in this sense?
I think that we have to experiment, and having the opportunity to watch what's going on with one hive is great. For instance, if I put myself as an example, I jumped into one hive because joining Token Economics, I heard you guys saying that it was good to join one hive to verify with Bright ID and so on, and get some faucet. So I jumped because of the faucet. That was like the candy, all right, that got me there. From there, I got interested into pollen. And I got into pollen to the point that I started even playing with the data into pollen, grabbing it from GitHub. And from there, I may end up putting a proposal. So at the end of the day, there's the different options that some people may feel comfortable with just putting a proposal, and if it passes, getting the X day that he requests in the proposal. Other people may feel comfortable just getting some pollen or whatever we call it. Some funds from his daily work, like people on the help channel on Discord on One Hype is getting, just for helping newcomers with all the questions they have. And they spend several hours there a day just giving, helping the new ones coming in. So there is no perfect way of moving forward. There's problems. They are running into problems with people cheating into the pollen thing right now, and they're starting to blacklist some people and getting them out of the rewarding distribution. So we just gotta experiment. There is no other way to move forward. And I completely agree that there is no way to go absolutely decentralized. We can try. It'd be great if we could, but it's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, go for it, Quarta.
Yeah. I think that having a lot of automation at the level of engagement and communication interactions is not very pleasant for most people. I mean, for me personally, when I get into a platform or a community, if there are too many bots or too many standardized communications, I feel that this community doesn't want to invest so much in human touch, for example, or in human communication. And so, for example, I wouldn't like to have a completely decentralized and automated communication or interaction layer, for example. I would be curious to know what do you think about it, and maybe to have some data like market research about this. And also, I think that especially in the first phase, it's better to focus on quality. And then as the community grows and we have the need for much higher efficiency, for example, then there is a need for automation and higher degrees of decentralization. But in the first phase, I mean, I think that the investment of human time for humans is highly valuable. I mean, when someone new arrives and find a bot, I don't know what is his impression, because maybe to us that we like the centralized system and the bots, we are happy because they have a layer for this thing and they have a protocol, but I don't think that for everybody it's like this.
But you can have like being decentralized and don't have bots at the same time. Like, for example, as Santi was saying about the pollen. For example, if there is decentralized and I'm helping new people, then I got some emojis and then I'm rewarded for that. But if I, for example, I can do that today, but maybe I do it in the next week or something like that. But I understand that it's decentralized, but don't necessarily you have to have bots because it's decentralized. That's what I think.
Yeah, of course.
So how would we go to experiment with SourceCred? Like, what would be the steps we would need there? Did you take a look in that, Jess, or should we like research together?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time? It cut out.
That if we want to go and experiment with SourceCred, what would we need?
I didn't hear. Sorry.
We would have to deploy it, Livia. We would have to deploy it in our platform, decide where do we want to suck information from. These guys the guys at OneHive are using GitHub, Discord, and the forum. We could decide if we want to go on the 3 channels or just the forum initially or just Discord initially, decide which channels amount of power give to every single channel, and from there you create a graph and the information gets sucked and you give away the cred or the pollen or whatever we want to call it. But everything is configurable. You have to decide the power that you give to every channel, and in every single channel the power you give to every single action, and from there you assign the amount of money that you want to distribute, and that's it.
Yeah, it's actually, sorry, it's actually a lot of work to scope out because it's quite a lot of work. So I think maybe we can have the initial, like you said, kind of social discussion and buy-in, like Griff was saying, we could toss around some parameters. And basically I started with this very like general to open up the discussion about the spectrum we want for how decentralized do we want to be, how much interaction do we want to keep. And then this is like a huge undertaking and process. This isn't going to happen in a couple of meetings. This is going to be like ongoing work over the next 2 months to get the initial kind of discussions going and how the community is feeling, and then that way we can prepare this proposal, as Griff said, for the launch, to put it in as one of the first proposals that we are able to fund this rewards system. So I guess just slowly starting to scope out the work, get maybe a little working group going, like a mini working group, and then starting to flesh out some of the parameters on what we want to reward. Yeah, you have to do a SourceCred instance, and then it's working a lot with the SourceCred team to tweak their algorithms for the different assignments of what we want to reward.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first task really is finding someone who has done it before and wants to help lead it. Barada, Kai, those are 2 people I know in our community who have done it. Barada and Zargam actually did it for the token engineering community already. And there's TE cred out there. So In fact, impact hours were originally called cred, and then I was like, it's too confusing. So there is, I don't think it's, I think the big step is just saying, okay, Barada or Kai or whoever wants to lead this, what do you need to take it on, and then carry the flag and tell us what to do.
I think I feel a little resistance just because I love praise so much. It feels really, I don't know, it feels precipitated to abandon it and move into something else.
Oh no, I don't think
We should
anyone's
do both.
suggesting abandoning praise. We're discussing doing both was the idea. So like I think Santi said, not everybody feels comfortable going and submitting a conviction funding proposal. It's like kind of, even me in One Hive, I have something to submit. I know the whole system, and I'm still kind of intimidated or like shy to submit the proposal. So at least if we have this base level automation, like Zeptimus said, he goes in and like he's helping people. He feels good and knows that there's a system for that, but also we can continue, like Griff said, if the community loves praise and we all love praise, I think it's going to be an easy yes, and then just deciding how much to allocate to it, and then still continue the existing system, or we can discuss maybe tweaking it a bit, a praise squad, or I don't know.
I think the part of praise that it's hard to scale is the quantification. And then maybe for that, we could like brainstorm ideas of how to go about it, because even what you were saying, Griff, about how to reward the praise after, I think it shouldn't be a problem to like make a proposal every month for rewarding all the people that got praise and sending them tokens. I don't know if it would be too hard in terms of like having all the addresses and having to do that, like how automated can go in that sense.
Sorry, I guess that was a question for me in a way. I think praise, again, if we want to do praise, we're going to have to, it's cool. We get to do a second iteration of it. So we have to figure out how we want to change it and then create a proposal and get it funded, whether it's for 3 months at a time or it's for one each month. Either way, we'll definitely need to reassess, make a proposal, and get it funded. The one thing that is weird here, is that like there's a lot of this is a trap I see a lot of DAOs get into, where it becomes all about DAO operations. And I hope that we can also remember that the real cause that we're fighting for is not improving DAOs all around the world and creating cool structures of accountability, The goal is to fund token engineering public goods. So we don't want to have too many proposals about DAO operations. That's the trap that most DAOs seem to fall into, DAOing to DAO. We really want to make sure that we're optimizing token engineering public funding, public goods funding. So SoftGov's job is to do DAO operations. So of course we should be talking about it here, but we don't want to get too deep into the woods about trying to optimize all these things. Get it good enough, and then let's get let's put DAO operations on the side and focus on, CAD models and these sorts of things.
And then the first proposal is to decide the percentage of amount of retribution to the DAO operation and how much for the commons outside of the scope of the internal.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Well, if you look at most nonprofits, the target is supposed to be like 10% or less on admin budget is the ideal. So maybe we use that as a guide. And also what you're saying, Santi, it is all an experiment. Nobody knows. And what Griff is saying, like if we can all keep reminding each other why we're here, and yeah, it's not to do admin. So all of these elements that are being discussed and all the input is so important. And even having this discussion, because yeah, we are just creating this, and I think we actually are in a really good position that we have all of this experience from past. We've been able to watch so many projects kind of fail, so we have a better chance at a good start. So if we continue to keep running how we are and like listening to the collective intelligence, it will, I think, be easier to like ground in something that's going to work really well.
Yeah, and SoftGov doesn't need to be only admin work. It's also to, I think the main mission is to actually keep people in alignment with the purpose of the commons. And a lot of what is rewarded from SoftGov is, I don't know, this interaction and the quality of the relationships that are keeping the purpose going. So it's just about how do we reward that. And yeah, I think it's important. Okay, so maybe next step is to. I'm getting a lot. Griff, can you mute quick, please? Thank you. Hard to focus when I hear my voice back. So I think the next step is finding someone to lead the automation and trying it. Is anyone opposed to us trying SourceCred? Cool.
Just to provide as well a little framing around like action steps, I think what is needed.
I think that a good way to measure like what do people want to be rewarded from could be like also having these brainstorms in a Miro board. Maybe we can like make a type form or something where people like actually answers that question, like what kind of behavior do you think could be better valued than other, or like yeah, for what kind of activities do you want to get praised?
So you're saying to narrow more down the scope of what is praised and what is not?
Yeah, I had to refresh.
Yeah, like having some like brainstorm session for like updating the activities that would get praised after the hatch, like yeah, like updating the tiers for activities, maybe.
I have a feeling that will be a little more broad, and then maybe that's why it's interesting to also have SourceCred to like make it bigger what we can reward. But yeah, I'm happy to hear other thoughts around that too.
I would like to say that SourceCred is like a lot of work. I've been talking to one of the guys that's been doing it on OneHive, and it's a lot of work. And as Griff said, I was wondering what is this all for? Like, is the SourceCred just for like, is the focused on making the system only, or is it going to make a project more focused on DE? So also, I'm not sure if it's that useful to do like in a hurry. Maybe in 2 months we know better how OneHive did or other DAOs did with SourceCred, and maybe we know better if it's worth the effort. But in any case, it's, I don't know. Yeah, can't hurt. I think, unless it's like too much work for something that you know how to do already with other methods.
And maybe too, just re-examining the goal of what is the purpose of this. Like, the purpose is so that people feel rewarded and valued for their contributions. But maybe all of the people are going to be submitting proposals to work on actual token engineering projects. So I guess continuing to ask these questions. And
I didn't understand very well.
also, do we want to have a faucet? That's another discussion as well that goes along with, like, not really rewards. It's more like a little UBI or something, but it's like to reward participation. But yeah, this can also be kind of pulling the project because it's a whole wormhole that could pull energy away from the core goal.
I think both SourceCred and a faucet would be good. Sorry, Manu, can you briefly mute? Yeah, both SourceCred and a faucet would be good to scale the community, but I feel like the community is quite small, so I don't see the need right now. But I think SourceCred is amazing for experimenting, but maybe we can start small and scale it up later.
I personally don't think a faucet way of rewarding is it fits very well in our community. It attracts a lot of treasure hunters that just get here for the amount of money that you give away, and they don't want anything of that. And at the end of the day, they end up messing up with other things in the community. But again, experimenting is never bad, and we can try for a little while. I mean, if it doesn't work, we can forget about it. Of course, it all depends on the amount of work we have to do to put it in place. But experimenting is always good. You get surprises on what you may end up getting out of. So trying different options and having them all together, or sometime for a period of time we have one or another. I think it's great, and they may not work very well on OneHive, and they may work perfectly on our community. We don't even know. I mean, it doesn't have to be that it doesn't work there, it won't work here. I mean, it's different communities, it's different goals, so it could perfectly work here even if it doesn't work there.
Yeah, I agree, and I would just say, like, it's nice for new people to just stay in the loop with the project and come back, return to the project, and get rewarded for that. Yeah.
Cool. So I think we have somehow of a consensus that we should try SourceCred. And so, Jess, do you want to see if you can talk to someone with either Burrata or Kay, and maybe we can start a chat around that to just investigate what do we need, how long, what is the effort, how can we approach this?
Yeah, we have that channel with Barada open. I guess my bandwidth is pretty low right now for all the other projects. So what I can do and what I'm good at is catalyzing the initial, like, kick some energy in it. But also, this is like a huge undertaking. So if there are like one or two other people that want to carry the flag, as Griff calls it. Like, I can catalyze it, I can connect all the pieces, and I can integrate a lot of what we've talked about into the document I started. But I definitely think this is going to take a lot of hands on deck to like really start to move. And again, this is a 2-month project, so there's not like a rush. And also we can take step by step, but definitely will take a lot of energy to push this forward. So I can catalyze, but if anybody else says like, oh yeah, I'm super interested in looking at this and experimenting, just you can say now, or you can just DM me and I will add you to the channel that we'll create to start these discussions and just to have a few more hands working on this document with me would be super appreciated.
There's someone that wants to jump into that flag.
I can help you, Jess, with that.
Yeah, me too. Would lovely.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so Mateo and Santi. Cool. I think that this was a nice brainstorming. We got to an action item that we should experiment with this, and we're gonna move forward. So one last thing I wanted to say today is that I really want to start a governing the commons working group, because we've been talking so much about Ostrom's principles, and there's a whole book out there with so much knowledge that we can tap into. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe more people in the community would like to join, and I would just maybe like to have a signal if that's something interesting for you guys, and propose that we have a dynamic of a co-hosted book club that maybe every week one person grabs the flag of a chapter and proposes a discussion based on it. And I have like a signal round, if that's something interesting to have along this working group as well.
That's very cool, I think. And apart from the fact that I love it, the idea, I think that there are a lot of scholars out there that are interested in this thing, because it's very innovative and it is online, while the majority of the energies around the commons, actually, I think that they are based on local communities and the physical spaces or environmental contexts. So making a forest a common, or a building a common, but this is very intriguing, I think. So let's do it.
Okay, awesome. So I'll start, and then whoever feels to jump in, let's jump in this book. And we have 10 minutes left. Do we want to do just a rare round of sharing, of closing? I would love to hear a feedback of like, how is the direction we're going with this working group? Is there something else you would like to discuss, to propose, to talk about? How are you feeling being here, and how can we improve our time together? So I'll pass to Manu.
Sorry for that. I wanted to say, that I'm super excited about the proposal that you just made, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I will also love to continue learning, because this is a learning experience for me as well. And excited to be here. And I pass it to Santi.
I think that we are going into the right direction, little by little, as we move forward. The group is, just addressing everything that it gets needed. I think the proposals on how to, praise the contribution, how to move forward into Ostrom's principles, it's great. Juan Carlos is doing a great job with the conflict resolution, which is something that we have to keep in place. Absolutely. I see what's going on in OneHive, and that's definitely because of they are lacking any way of managing conflict, and it's just arising now, and they are fighting right now that it's appearing. If they had something put together, no matter what, it probably would be easier to manage than what it is right now. So I'm just very happy how the group is evolving, and I'll just pass it to Jess.
Yeah, I think this was an amazing call. It's really nice when we can like take one issue at a time, especially such a big one as rewarding contributions. And this is something like we cannot do on our own. We really need the whole community to feel good about the process that we're developing. So I'm so grateful that everybody is like feeling open to sharing like your thoughts and your experience. And I think because of that, we will be able to have something that everybody feels really good about. And that's the goal that I hope to see happen, is that everybody feels acknowledged, that everybody feels rewarded, and feels like the gratitude for showing up and working projects together. So I will pass to Chris.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. Just again, still taking in. I would say I would echo the previous comments about DAOs getting tied up in DAO operation stuff. So if we can avoid that, that would be amazing. I'm not sure who hasn't gone yet, so who should I pass? An open pass.
I'll pass to Tonga.
Okay, I have not much to add either. I'm really glad that besides all the like all the all the stuff we are doing, I like most of you or all of you. I don't know all of you yet, but I like how you communicate. I can feel a difference between OneHive and these talks. This feels much more human, and that's like sometimes it is hard to talk, but sometimes it's like, okay, I'm not so alone all the day at the computer. I'm with people. We have goals. So thank you all, and I don't know who else. I pass it to Dahiti.
Hi all. Is my mic working this time? Can you hear me? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good idea as well. I'm looking up this SourceCred and integrating that with the praise. Sounds like a brilliant idea. And I might put my name down for that as well, because of I might got machine issues. I mightn't be able to do much coding between now and a replacement. So that'd be. I'll just have to read through the SourceCred and send it on to a few mates. But I don't have much more experience in the DeFi or anything with OneHive or anything like that. But definitely, this sounds like the sort of community that is that is good. Yeah. Anyway, I pass it on to. I can't see names on my screen, so just faces. So somebody pass it on. Griff,
Thank
there you
you.
go. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you who you passed it to, but I want to take it because I have to check out my hotel. So thank you guys. That was a great call. I am a little sketched out by how much work SourceCred is, and so it is a big rabbit hole. And I hope that we don't take it on without someone who's done it before, leading the charge. So while I think it's really cool, one of the coolest things out there, and it deserves a lot of interest. I just hope that for streamlining the effort, before you guys put too much work into it, that we find someone who's down to lead it and finish it, and has finished it before. Because, oh my God, it is not easy. I've seen lots of people start it and fail. So take it seriously. And also, if praise is working, maybe we work on something that is broken. So I don't know. That's my opinion on it. But I think eventually, no matter what, SourceCred will be part of the TEC. So if we do it sooner rather than later, that's also cool. And who hasn't gone yet? I'll pass it to Chris. Did you go, Chris?
Septimus hasn't gone yet.
Yeah, I didn't go. I was thinking like this SourceCred. I mean, right now with the price system, I at least me and I think everyone feels rewarded. So for the moment, I think there is no need at all. But at the same time, when we go a larger community, it's important like to test it, and especially I don't know who say about there was some abusing of the system. We have to prevent that to happen. But for the moment, I think I think it's no need, because implement it right now and start to get reward by cred, because I don't know, I think the community is being very, very rewarded. And I also had something to say, but it's related to the last call on comms. When I saw the Jess videos before doing a proposal on the conviction voting, and the information I was lacking is when you do your job, you do the proposal and then you do your job, and when you finish your job, I was confused where I should post it. And I just posted on my own forum link, but I don't know if that's correct.
You mean how to execute a proposal? Like you put the proposal and it passed, yeah?
Yeah. And I executed myself. But when when I do the job, when I finish, where should I post the result? I mean the work I do.
You can message me and I'll walk you through it. Since we just have a minute left, I will help you. It's like you can you can execute your own proposal once it passed. So I'll show you how to do that if you just reach out to me.
Okay.
We can walk you through it.
Cool.
Jessica, you didn't watch my memes.
You're what?
The memes I sent you on the Discord.
I watched the memes. I did watch the memes. I thought I replied. I'll double check.
Okay. That's joking. Sorry.
And I'll pass it
Septimus,
to Mateo.
Sorry, no, I think you're also asking about like where to post the work that you did.
Yes, exactly.
In the same post as the proposal.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good, thanks for pointing that out. We should write it down somewhere. But I think just, in the same proposal form.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That was the question.
So I'll go next. It's my first meeting in the Commons stack, actually in the token engineer side, because I have been working with Gibet most of my time since 3 months ago, actually. So happy to be more involved in this. And actually, I know personally Juan Carlos. I kind of introduced him to and onboarded him to Gibet, and Gibet brought him to this. So I'm happy to be helping him with the conflict management part as much as I can, and really excited to be offering much more effort to this community. I love it, really. It's been a long time, but these past 4 months have been my most efforts that I have provided. So yeah, nice to meet you all, and if anyone needs something from me, I will be up here. So I don't know who hasn't been. Juanca, I think I'll pass it to you.
Gracias, Mateo. Well, I'm very happy to be here in this call. Yesterday we had the first call on the conflict management working group, but we are going to have after next week we are going to have the calls on Tuesdays, 2 hours before SoftGov, and as we don't have a channel, most of the information is in the SoftGov channel. But I would really appreciate if the people who hasn't read the proposal and the working group document, please read it. And also to, as I said before, help me in the brainstorm of the Miro board that is below the work that we've already done. It says graduate sanctions, and the idea is to like have this first review on how on what are the measurements of conflicts and what are the measurement of like proposed sanctions. So very pleased to be here, and I will pass it to Ata.
Yes, hello. This is also my first call here, and I think it was really engaging and interesting in terms of the questions about different like rewarding systems and how they address needs of like certain communities with different goals, different compositions, etc. And yeah, it was a very interesting meeting to listen to, and yeah, I'm very grateful to be here again. Is there anyone that
Thanks
needs
for
to be?
coming. I think Fabian and Craig are last. And also,
Fabian.
yeah.
I still have to go. I'm a designer. I think this is super interesting. I've been following One Hive and communities as well. So I think, yeah, I still need to get some more understanding of what the goals are on this project. But I'm super happy to contribute if there's any work on interface design and user stuff. That's me.
Yes.
Jump in.
So happy you're here. We need more UI UX people.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Yeah, Craig?
Okay. Since we're past time, I'll just give a quick plug to join our TE Praise Telegram channel so that we can dish you some praise. There might be a few people here that are not joined yet, but yeah, that's all. Thank you, everyone, for all the good work and good vibes. Is there anybody left?
Thanks, Craig. Fabian, you're there? Okay. So I think everyone went, right? If not, please jump in. Otherwise, we can wrap up this call. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And yeah, let's chat about all this in the Telegram, Discord, and keep this moving. It's great that we have an action leads for this action item, and let's see if it actually makes sense to implement SourceCred. And I'll give more information about the book club soon too.
And before everyone jumps, did we record everyone that was here so we can praise?
Yeah, I got a print screen.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.